Hold up.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Foxy298 here. Welcome back to a brand new video for you guys today on my channel. Today we are back with my F1 2017 career mode season. This isn't even a season. It's part 8 now for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix or the Baku Grand Prix, whichever one you want to call it, either of those two. But if you guys do enjoy today's video, don't forget to click a like on the video. That'd be absolutely awesome, and subscribe if you're new around here as well. And without further ado, we're going to get straight on into things here. So I'm currently having a look at the R&D tree and seeing where we want to go with this Force India, seeing what we want to do in terms of development and so forth. So having a look at the chassis here. And we're going to, I think we might potentially upgrade the chassis. No, we don't. Okay. Oh, we don't even have enough resource points, so we can't anyway. But we're just having a look through, and you can see as we are going through now, and you can see that we're going to be swapping out some elements of my car in order to gain the max amount of practice. But some of them are so badly worn that I just cannot use them. For example, the internal combustion engine is literally like on 80%. You'll just be useless doing it. And our gearbox is on 59%, but I thought I'd go with it. In terms of the team's reputation level, it seems that Ferrari are the most interested in trying to potentially sign us, and yeah, we'll have to see how that goes regarding contracts and stuff. I see people are getting contracts after Silverstone, so we'll have to wait until after Silverstone and see if anything comes around. But nevertheless, we need to focus on the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So we're coming across here with a track acclimatization test. We do this in fine style here with just the one green and across the line there to set a purple time. We don't even need a lap time for this one. So this is the easiest one to do. Moving on then to the tyre wear test, and it actually had to take me 2 attempts to complete the tyre wear test. And I believe this was genuinely down to straight line speed. Of course, with me running a very worn power unit for practice, it didn't help. And as you can see there across the line, I did manage to just jump in front and beat the target time. On the fuel saving side of things, we also are going to complete this one as well. This one was actually surprisingly very easy around Azerbaijan. So fuel saving may not be such a problem for us here. So we're going to open up the DRS now, and we're going to come towards the line. We are going to get a green lap time, but as I've got delta time in hand, I actually just brake on the straight, because that is a tip that you have. If you've got the delta time to do it, if you've got like 4 or 5 tenths in hand, just before the end, just before you're about to cross the line to complete the program, just back off, just apply the brakes a little bit. And as you can see, that I managed to squeeze it then into the purple, which is awesome. Onto the qualifying simulation run. Again, the delta is going downwards as we are having to struggle a little bit with our power unit. We still get a nice green lap time, and that's fine by me. And then into the race strategy, we're going to complete this one as we normally do. Again, if you have a warm power unit, this one can sometimes be difficult, but it is mostly an easy one. And we come across the line there to set the purple pace, and they are all of the qualifying performances done and dusted. And we have now managed to push to 1,255 resource points, which is a good amount of points to have. And we're going to listen to our agent now, Emma, who's going to give us the qualifying objectives for today's Grand Prix. And they want us to qualify in 8th position and beat Daniel Ricciardo. So it's kind of just a similar pattern, really. It's the same thing every single time. They just want us to do specific things. And as you can see here now, having a look at the R&D tree once again, I am going to potentially make another upgrade. I have no idea, because I actually genuinely can't remember if I make another upgrade or not. But we do. Yeah, there we go. So we are going to make another chassis upgrade, which means now the chassis will jump above McLaren, Toro Rosso, and someone else. And now comes a frustrating part. So as you can see, we're going to be changing out elements of the car and going back to what we've got. But you can see some of my power units are already quite worn. So some elements of the car are going to their 4th unit, I believe that is, or it's their 3rd unit. And some are still on their 2nd. Which isn't actually that bad. Two units in 8 races. But unfortunately, we are going to have to take a gearbox penalty. I didn't show it in practice, but I do have gearbox problems. And it is something that needed to be noted, as I thought I was going to go into qualifying there. Didn't actually click X to go into qualifying. But unfortunately, I had gearbox problems in practice, and it was costing me at least a second a lap, if not more. So we are going to be taking a 5-place grid penalty for today's Azerbaijan Grand Prix, which I'm a little bit frustrated about, but at the end of the day, I'd rather have a nice fresh gearbox than have other problems during the race. It was kind of just a no-brainer, really. So we are going to take the gearbox penalty. Into Q1 then, we make it through. Into Q2, we qualified in 11th, Ocon in 12th. So finally, Esteban Ocon doesn't actually get knocked out in Q1. So Yeah, finally. Well done, Ocon. You managed to you save yourself there. But into Q2 then, we're going to be coming across the line, opening up the DRS here. Valtteri Bottas is currently fastest in Q2, but with my car set up very low in terms of aero, we come across the line and get P4, although Ocon actually beat me. So fair play to Esteban. Decent lap there. I do come across to do another lap, however, into this qualifying session. I didn't feel comfortable trying to get into Q3 with the lap time that I had, so I did decide to go again for one more lap and across the line there. I believe that said P9. I think it said P9. Oh, P5. Wow, okay, I was way off the pace. Wow. Okay, I was much quicker than I expected. P5 then for Q2, and there it is there. Bottas, Hamilton, the two Ferraris, and then myself, which is absolutely awesome. And we can get on to things. Now, something that I was asked to do is after the Canadian Grand Prix, people wanted to see my setups for this Grand Prix, for Grand Prix in future. Now, unfortunately, I tried to go back and get the setup for this race, but the footage was corrupted at the start of practice, all the way towards the halfway from track acclimatization. It all just buffered up, and I couldn't get the setup footage. Although, because of course I showed the setup then, I didn't think I needed to show it again. But across the line then for Q3, and that is going to put us in P3. So an absolutely amazing qualifying yet again. The Mercedes power really helping me out here in Q3. And as you can see, Hamilton and Bottas are the front row of the grid. In fairness, I was 7/10 behind. So I wasn't exactly that far. But I can tell you that in terms of the setup, I was running 3 wings. The same transmission as I did in the other Grand Prix. The suspension geometry was the same as in Canada. The suspension itself, I believe, was 11.3. I can't remember that one. The brake button was the same, and the tire pressures, and basically the entire setup was the same, apart from suspension and the wings. Which the wings was 3.3. I just can't remember the suspension, which is annoying. But if you go back to the Canadian Grand Prix and have a look at the setups, copy everything but the wings and the suspension, because the suspension I can't remember, and the wings was 3.3. And then for the next race, I'll get the setups back as usual. But there you go, guys. We are in the purple now, and so we're going to listen to the objectives here for the Grand Prix here in Azerbaijan, and Emma is going to give us, hopefully, some nice objectives. I'm hoping for nothing crazy. Finishing 6th, and to beat Daniel Ricciardo. Let's get into the race.
Anthony Davidson joins me today as we look ahead to something just a little bit different. It's quite high speed for a street circuit here, isn't it? Do you think that's going to throw up any unexpected situations?
Well, as long as the teams can keep everything cool, I don't foresee any particular big issues from a technical side of things. I do expect the track to be quite slippery though. We've not exactly had much chance to rubber in the surface. Any street circuit also comes with its own challenges, so I think we'll be seeing a few mistakes here and there. The smart strategy would be to expect a safety car, I think, especially early on when the pack is bunched up.
With that then, let's run through the grid order. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Massa, Max Verstappen and Raikkonen, Palmer and a Force India, Hülkenberg and Daniel Ricciardo, Stroll, Magnussen, Esteban Ocon and Kvyat, Sainz, Grosjean, Marcus Ericsson and Pascal Wehrlein. Alonso and Stoffel Van Dorn completes the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Alright then, guys, so as you can see, we are here now on the grid for this Grand Prix here in Azerbaijan. And as you can see, I believe the team underfueled me, but I always like to have the car filled up to plus 1 lap of fuel just to help me out. It does make a huge difference. So as you can see then, we are coming across now and getting ready to start this Grand Prix, and hopefully we can have a nice successful race, unlike, well, actually no, we've had 2 brilliant races already. But anyway, here we're on the grid now for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We've got 4, now 5 red lights here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and it's lights out, and we go here in Baku, and it's been an okay start from us. It's actually been a good start for Hülkenberg on my left there. He actually goes past me, but I am going to charge it in towards turn 1. I'm going to get back past Hülkenberg and then get the move done on Raikkonen. So we've gone up 1 position, and now now we're going to make that move on Jolyon Palmer, and I was considering trying to go for it on Verstappen, but I'm not going to go too crazy too early. I'm going to take my time with these overtakes and do them one by one. I've got a much powerful car than some of these guys, and of course, after starting in qualifying in P3, and then obviously dropping down due to the gearbox penalty, I know I've got the pace in the car, just probably not beating the Mercedes cars, but definitely everybody else I can beat. So we're going to have to just be a little bit patient now and settle into this Grand Prix and see what we can do then. As Max Verstappen, they're getting a little bit close now as we start following through in the first sector. And I can just say, this Grand Prix circuit, Azerbaijan, has been configured a hell of a lot since 2016. It is completely different, and you will notice a lot of differences, e.g. this corner here. But now we're up to the back of Max Verstappen here at the end of lap 1. Now we're going to put the car into rich fuel mixture and start making a pounce on Verstappen here. So as you can see now, flying through the final sets of corners here, and now onto the straight here. Verstappen is literally going to be left for dust. We're going to pull over to the left-hand side of the circuit and absolutely fly past Verstappen. That is how a Mercedes power unit works compared to a Renault power unit. Flies through Verstappen, and in fact, Nico Hulkenberg, I believe, or is that Jolyon Palmer, one of the Renaults, having a little look down at Verstappen, and I might just make that one stick here as we look in the top left of the screen, and no, Verstappen is still in front for the time being. Next up is Sebastian Vettel as we go a little bit wide into turn 2, onto the end of lap 2 now, and as you can see, we are closing up to the back of Sebastian Vettel, and our aero setup, which is 3 wings, is absolutely helping us to dream here, especially on this enormous back straight. There is Vettel there just in front of us now as we start flying through once again the final complex of corners, and they're not really complex of corners, and then we're going on to the long straight now, which basically is the length of the entire F1 calendar. And here is the Ferrari power unit versus my Mercedes power unit. And yeah, bye-bye. It was nice knowing you. See ya! And that is us flying on through. And yeah, that's that overtake done and dusted. Moving on, there's Felipe Massa there in third place. So the two Mercedes is 1 and 2. And we did set the fast lap of the Grand Prix that lap as well. But of course, we were in the slipstream of Vettel, don't forget. On to lap 3 of the Grand Prix now. And we're actually closing up to the back of Felipe Massa now. The two Mercedes are not that far in front. And in fairness to Massa, he's keeping Valtteri Bottas very honest in this Grand Prix. So fair play to Felipe, but as you can see now, we're closing up to him, and we've also got the DRS, and this is basically just showing it from an onboard perspective, how overpowered a Mercedes power unit is on this game. And we're going to go nice and deep down the inside of Felipe Massa, and we are going to make that move stick and up into P3, basically where we started in qualifying initially before our gearbox penalty. Now we're going to see if we can make any inroads on the Mercedes, but I highly doubt it, because I have not been anywhere near the Mercedes pace this weekend compared to in Canada. On to lap 8 of the Grand Prix now, and as you can see, the gap is increasing, but there are some yellow flags in the background as Vettel now has overtaken Felipe Massa in this Grand Prix, and Carlos Sainz, unfortunately, is out of this race, and it's actually brought out a full course caution. The safety car has come out, and this has come out right at the pit window period. There you go. I straight away called to pit this lap. My initial pit window is to pit on the end of lap 10. The safety cars come out here on lap 8, so I'm going to be pitting at the end of lap 8, 2 laps earlier, but hopefully the safety car can stay out till the pit window, and this hopefully will pay off. I'm just also praying that no one comes into the pits with me, but we're coming into the pits here at the end of lap 8 now, as I'm going to try and make a very bold strategy here. So, into the pits now for our first and potentially only stop of this Grand Prix. I think it's a one-stop race, this one. I forgot to look at the strategy now. As we're coming in and we're fitting a set of soft tyres on, these should hopefully take us to the end of the race. I believe yes, it is a one-stop here. So we're going to be taking these to the end of the race, but it's a bold strategy, but actually, yeah, it should have, yeah. It's a bold strategy, but hopefully this can work for us. And with no one else coming into the pits, I'm going to close right back up to the safety cars. So at this rate, I'm going to have a pit stops advantage if this strategy works out. It might not. It might be the wrong thing to do. But on to lap 10 now. This is the lap where I should be coming in for my pit stop here. The end of lap 10, start of lap 11. But I've already made the pit stop. And because we're under safety car conditions, these tyres are as fresh as anything. It doesn't matter if I've come in 2 laps early. They'll still go the whole distance here. So we've really made this work now. And we've just got to get our head down now and start making a couple of overtakes. Not get held up too much, because I don't know how long this field is going to stay out for. I don't know how long they're going to continue on these super soft tyres. But Verstappen having a little glow glance there at his Toro Rosso's sister teammate, Danica Fiat, but we're going to go down to the inside of, well, both of them really. And we go into turn 1, and we're up into P12 now in this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We've got Romain Grosjean in front of us, who is braking very early for Magnussen. I'm going to creep my nose in, and Grosjean does leave me the space, but in fairness, he's going to hold it around the outside here, so I'm going to have to give him the room here. Romain Grosjean really putting up a fight now as we come towards this turn 3 corner, and we have just managed to we got the legs on Grosjean, and into turn 3 we now get in front of him up into P11 for this Azerbaijan Grand Prix now, and onto lap 11. Just a little bit further across now, we're closing up to Kevin Magnussen here, and we brake nice and late, and for some reason Magnussen decides, you know what, I'm just going to brake really early, so I make an overtake in a very unorthodox place, but we get it done. On to lap 11 now of the Grand Prix, and there is the strategy working in full swing. Everyone is coming into the pits to get rid of those super soft tyres. Like, oh, I just clipped the wall there trying to overtake Stroll. I had a little look, but Stroll was just too far in front. I'm going to have to set myself up for a turn 2 overtake instead, but that could have been catastrophic. That could have cut me out of the race, but yeah, all the cars have now made their pit stops here, but we actually can't be comfortable. I'm trying to commentate over things at the same time. We can't be comfortable as Lance Stroll is going to come back at us in this Grand Prix with that Williams car. He's not exactly slow in a straight line either, and into turn 3 we go, and we're comfortably in front of Lance Stroll now, and that is fine. But here we are now, coming around to start lap 13 of this Grand Prix, and there's everyone in the pits. There's the other drivers in the pits, so yeah, I now have a pit stops advantage over the entire field. So now the gap is 20 seconds, and there's 14 laps to go. So at this rate, you know, they can close a second a lap on me. Here we are on to lap 14 now of the Grand Prix, setting new personal best lap, and this is just to show the gap. If you look at the top left where the leaderboard is, myself, Bottas and Hamilton, you'll be able to see the gap very, very soon as they cross the line. I think they even set a fastest lap as well, but across the line there, 17.1 I believe that says. Hamilton sets fast lap of the Grand Prix, but 17 seconds to close in 13 laps. That's going to be quite difficult for them. On to lap 20 of the Grand Prix now, and we're just flying through the laps, and the Mercedes cars are catching me at the rate of a second a lap. But at the moment, that's not enough. But Danica Fiat has actually got a puncture, and we do go past Fiat quite nicely there, as he's obviously trying to trundle his way back to the pits and get a new set of tyres on. But yeah, the gap was closing a second a lap, but even at a second a lap, that's not enough to get the gap away from me. And in the first and final sectors, I was able to just keep going on. But on to lap 20 at the end of it, Danica Fiat's puncture has caused a second safety car. For God's sake. Right, well, that's literally thrown everything out the works then. On to lap 23 of the Grand Prix now. The safety car has come out. Bottas and Hamilton are now right up my backside. And when I thought I was going to cruise to victory, there is no cruise for me. We're green flag racing once again, and Bottas has got a tremendous start here. Into turn 1 we go now. We're going to have to defend from Bottas, which now means for the last 3 laps of this Grand Prix, I was just going to nicely cruise it on home, but now I have to defend very heavily against 2 rapid Mercedeses, and that's a Renault in 4th place. Wow, okay. I think that's Hulkenberg there. So we go to the defensive line here. Bottas has got a great run, and then we're going to go back to the racing line as we're permitted to do, and into turn 3 we defend nicely from Valtteri Bottas. And on to the end of lap 24 now. This is just heartbreaking here. Literally my heart is racing now as I'm trying to hold off 2 mighty Mercs here in towards the final sector now, through the little kink there, and coming towards now the end of the lap, flying through these corners, and as we come flying through, oh, look at that shot. 3 cars just flying through all at once there. Bottas is behind me. Hamilton's behind me now as we make the charge down the long straight here. Will Bottas go for it? He's going to pull over to the right-hand side of the circuit, but look at the aero that I've got. Really working a treat. As soon as Bottas jumps out of that slipstream, he's got no chance against my Force India, and that is a perfect way to defend against these Mercs. I've just got to hold on. In the middle sector, there's nowhere to overtake, but on the final sectors, as soon as they pull out of the slipstream to get the overtake done, the straight line speed and the top end speed that I've got is so much more than the Mercedes cars. And Bottas now, lap 25 to lap 26, is coming back at me again now as we come flying through. Hamilton's dropped back a little bit now, so it's a straight fight, me and Bottas towards the end of the Grand Prix here. Can we hold off Valtteri now? We've got a very poor camera angle. We're going to look on board from Bottas's POV now here as he pulls over, and look at the cut, look at my pace. The aero working a treat. We're actually pulling away from Bottas now as we come towards turn 1 here, so that just shows the aero working an absolute charm here, as I'm just fussing around with cameras, trying to get the right angle here. But into turn 2 now, we're still comfortably in front of Valtteri for the time being, but he is going to fight us once again here, as again we get another frustrating camera angle. We'll switch to Bottas's POV to get a good broadcasting view as he pulls over towards the left-hand side of the circuit to give me the inside line. I'm going to cover him off though carefully there, and we come around now into turn 3, and it is fine. But onto the last lap of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It has been one hell of a Grand Prix, but it's not over yet here. A little bit squirmish on the exit, and it is me versus Bottas versus Hamilton to the line now. It's coming through the left-hander, now the right-hander. It is a straight drag now towards the start-finish line here. Bottas is going to come through. Which way is he going to go? He's going to also have DRS here towards the start-finish line. I'm going to go super defensive here. Here comes Bottas. Here comes myself towards the start-finish line. Checkered flag. It can't come close enough. And there it is, guys. We have got a hat-trick of wins in Formula 1 on F1 2017. And wow, that was a close finish to this Grand Prix. Oh my God, what a race that was. That was absolutely sensational stuff from both myself and Valtteri Bottas. Lewis Hamilton also very, very close behind there. But as you can see, Vijay Mallya probably cannot believe that his team has won 3 races in a row. And like I said, apart from Monaco, which was just blatant luck, really, you know, we've dominated on the tracks that we should technically be quick at. Straight line speed circuits. But again, guys, that is the Azerbaijan Grand Prix wrapped up. Top step of the podium once again. But guys, let me just say that these victories, yes, they're coming, but that doesn't mean that they're earned. Well, technically they are. In Monaco, we had luck with grid penalties and a crash to give us the win. In Canada, we've just had the straight pace. And here in Azerbaijan, we got very lucky with the safety car coming out and pulling off a beautiful strategy, keeping track position. But look at that. 4/100ths of a second separated me and Bottas to the line. It couldn't get any closer to that as a finish for a Grand Prix. Bottas 4/100ths behind us. Some penalties are given out there, but wow. And fair play to Roman Grosjean, who got 6th place in the Haas. But I just went to the race director a minute because I wanted to go and find out who got the grid penalty. Why did someone get a crazy ass penalty? As Esteban Ocon, actually my teammate DNF'd. I forgot to show that. So oops, there's me exceeding track limits once. My bad. But as you can see, it was there you can see an unserved drive-through and an unserved stop-go. So interesting there, and they were doing stuff behind the safety car, cheeky guys. But yeah, that is it, guys. What a Grand Prix that was. But guys, if you have enjoyed probably the craziest race yet in my F1 2017 career mode, don't forget to drop it an absolutely huge like button. That'd be absolutely awesome. I don't know, you can't even do that, but you can make it happen somehow. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, click the subscribe button so you don't miss a single upload whenever I do upload my F1 content. And yeah, wow, that was an absolutely phenomenal Grand Prix. And here come the resource points now, stacking on up. And we're up to 500 resource points now. And as you can see here, taking some nice points against Daniel Ricciardo. And as you can see now, Ferrari and Red Bull very interested in getting a contract off myself for future time. So anyway, guys, that's it for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. What a race. Thanks, guys, for watching. Take care, all. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care, all. Peace.